I'll just talk in an excited way about something that I'm very passionate about, like jokes. I love jokes. You want to hear some jokes? I got some jokes. How do you make pickle bread?
I don't know.
Dildo.
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously.
Podcast and stuff. We just started. Boom. Who am I here with today?
I am Suzanne Wyss.
Oh man, I've been saying it wrong already. Like I thought it was like Weiss.
People have called me Susan Wyss my whole life, but it's actually Suzanne Wyss.
Okay. Who is Suzanne Wyss?
Well, I am an artist, first and foremost. I chose to pursue sculpture long ago because it allowed me to not specialize in anything. I just wanted to make art, and I wanted to make big art, and I want to be surrounded by it, and I want to live it. So I have been working for the past 10 years making immersive installations, and I like to use organic forms. I like to create organic forms by way of industrial material.
Where did that first arise in your life? Like where did you start doing it? Like, or feel the need to start doing that?
When I was an undergrad, I started using thread as a medium, like just thread. And
I mean like art. So like, were you already
art?
An undergrad? Like, were you an artist already?
I was an artist.
So like, where is like the impetus, if that's the right word?
Both of my parents are artists. So
wow.
My mother is a textile artist, and my father is a landscape architect and luthier. And I am somehow like the exact middle of that. I realized pretty recently, actually. I was building a textile landscape, and I was like, oh, this is the exact middle of what my parents do. So I come by it very honestly.
Oh man. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's just weird. I don't hear that all the time. Where artists, and now you're artists. So like, you just following like the family trend.
Yeah, I actually.
And did they encourage that too?
Absolutely, they very much encourage it. Not only do they encourage it, but they have helped me do installations more than once.
So you collaborated with them?
Yeah.
That must have been cool, right?
It's really fun, actually. They're incredibly helpful. Sometimes I have to be like, it's okay, I got it. I don't need your help. But other times, man, they have just been so wonderful to have. And they're very smart and funny and weird, so it's good.
Okay. So like before you were about to do the undergrad thing. So yeah, how do you get to this style of art, like you said, with the threads and stuff?
Well, I have an ancestry that is all of my grandmothers were quilters or
this is deep. This is just not even your parents.
No, it actually runs really far back, but there's something about textiles where I never really wanted to be a textile artist. But I like textiles. So I kind of steer away from anything traditional. But like I was saying in undergrad, I kind of found a source for an immense amount of thread just on a spool. And I started playing with it and figuring out how to use that as a medium. And I liked the idea of using something that usually is like it holds your clothes together, but it's not your clothes. You know, it's the assist. It's never the main ingredient. And so I was kind of using this kind of like the glue as the main material. And I started creating these huge thread cocoons. And from that, I really started trying to find alternative materials to create organic forms that are industrialized that I bring back into the organic.
When you do these projects, because I was looking at your site and like, man, you got some intense stuff on there. Like a lot of the installations, like I don't like what makes you do those things, or like where does it come to do that? Like, because as I try to understand it in me, like I still don't. I'm like I just know I have to be making stuff, and if I don't, then things are not good, and I feel bad, and things just go awry.
Yeah.
But what makes you even do like this art in general? Like,
I think deep down I am growing my own jungle in a way. I need to be surrounded by these forms. Not only that, but I kind of need to make them. I get a lot of anxiety. So there's something about just like quickly producing something or being able to do something with my hands that shows that I have achieved something. Even if that thing is completely ridiculous, it makes me feel better and it calms me down. And I just keep growing these things, and I use different materials, whatever I can find a mass quantity of at the time. And I kind of soothe myself by finding what that material does that I enjoy, that I can do repeatedly. And by doing something repeatedly, it's more of like a meditation. I don't have to think about it as much. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like my most recent project, I just cut up bike inner tubes and I stapled them together. And granted, I used a couple different formations to do that, but really I would just cut up a whole pile of tubes and I would just staple and staple and staple and staple. And I went through 40,000 staples all on my own. That was one of the first projects where I realized I didn't want help. I thought there was something really poignant to me stapling that many times. It's like something I had to do.
I've noticed that too. Like now I actually do meditate. I've gotten into that in yoga and a lot of stuff. But like I think many years ago, I just noticed like when I would make music and I use a computer, so I have to sit in front of a computer a lot. But like once you get into that zone and like you're doing the whole thing, like I don't know what it is, like it is kind of, I just said it actually, it's being in the zone, or the flow state, the mind state,
Flow state.
Yeah. And it does come from that repetitive process. And I don't remember the parts of the brain it activates, but it's something in there and that channels something and blah, blah, blah. You hear it a lot in the extreme athletes and stuff, but
that makes sense.
Yeah, because they're always, they have it, I don't want to say the easiest, but they have it the easiest to activate because they're doing the maybe closer to life and death stuff.
That's
more
true.
often than not, because you flip on a motorcycle upside down, it's gonna get you excited.
That's true. But even just running, I find that is something that's really good for anxiety. It's like, oh, I'm about to lose my mind. Why don't I just go on a run and then I will actually lose my mind to like that runner's high, and then I can find myself again.
Yeah. You're right. I just never think of that because I have bad knees from basketball. So
you got to find other ways to do it.
Yeah. So that's why I got into I do a lot of the breathing. Even the shower thing I was telling you about.
Yeah, the cold shower.
I got it from this guy called Wim Hof. And he does like a hyperventilating breathing. It supposedly activates DMT in your mind and all that stuff too.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's real good.
I've been thinking about like an ice bath as an interesting form of self-healing. Because, as you might imagine, stapling something 40,000 times hurts.
It tears, yeah.
I'm still hurting a little bit. And I think I might have to go get a massage.
You should check that out. I think I definitely haven't done the ice bath. I definitely want to do it.
Yeah.
Then they have the cryo tanks as well.
Right? Oh, the ice salt.
Maybe I think you're thinking of the float tanks.
Yeah,
I want to try that too.
You do.
Where you don't feel nothing or like sensory deprivation.
All
some
it
type
is
of weird
just
things.
Like salt, and you just flow because there's so much salt in the water.
Yeah. I definitely want to check that out.
Sounds pretty cool.
But no, the cryo chamber is just like it would be probably similar to that, but for cold. So you're just being blasted. But I don't know what degrees they do, but like. Yeah, most normal people probably only last a minute or two, And then the extreme people can probably do something like 10 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's real low temperature blast to get that same shock, but at an extreme, ray.
Yeah. I actually did that once. I was doing a project with a friend. She was doing a photography project where she made, she was actually working at Panera Bread at the time. And I don't know if you know anything about bakeries like that, but they just throw away actual garbage bags full of bread at the end of every day. And so as like a broke art student, she was like, well, here's the material. Like, I'm going to start using this material. And so she made these outfits out of bread. And then me and my other friend wore them in the woods, wore like these bread outfits. And then she poured like a ceramic slip over us. And so we were just kind of like covered in mud, running through the forest. And as the sun went down, it just got colder and colder, and mud, cools you like a pig, it rolls in mud to cool itself. So we were being very much cooled by this mud we were covered in. And she ended up calling us sun chasers by the end of it because we were so cold and just trying to find the sun. And I don't think I've ever been that cold before. Like I was shivering so hard, and by the time we actually got warm, like we did lose our minds a little bit and kind of had to get over this thing. And at the end of it, it was almost eye-opening that like how easy we have it and how powerful our bodies are, and we don't ever really push them to the extremes.
We don't.
It's pretty exciting when you do.
It is. It's
because we're strong.
We are, but because, and it's good and bad, but because we've advanced so much as a society, we don't always get to activate that.
Yeah.
Most people, like I'm trying to make that transition, but most people, like we're in this life where we, what is it, the sedentary life, or where we're just sitting a lot.
Yeah.
like so, and we're in offices and stuff, and even now, like, it's cold outside, but we go inside and we're like warm and we turn on the heater, so we never have to use any of these adaptation systems we have. So when we do need it, they're not ready.
Exactly. Well, I think in Texas we do, or I have ever since I've lived here as an artist. Like I've worked in non-air conditioned warehouses all 5 years that I've lived here, and man. I get so sweaty, and it's almost to the point where like I notice it, but you just have to accept it.
Yeah.
And I've definitely acclimated because of that.
Yeah, it's only tough in the beginning. I think once you adapt to it, then it's like it's a normal.
Exactly.
I remember my first cold shower, and I was just like shaking, and then like that, and then like now, for whatever reason, it never goes away. So I'm like, man, I really don't want to take a cold shower right now. But you do it, and like, sure, you feel this like 1% shock or whatever. But honestly, like, I'm still breathing like I'm breathing right now. Now at this point, it's just like whatever. Like I need real cold now, like to make it like me breathe again, and get me to that next level.
Yeah, you should go jump in the ocean.
Maybe. I can't swim, so no, actually.
You can't swim?
No, that would be...
Start there.
Yeah, that would be... one day I'll learn how to swim. When I was young, I used to be able to swim straight, but I never learned how to float.
Oh,
interesting. So, we went to, I think, like Canyon Lake or something around here one time, and it's the only one that can go in the water because they're going in this real water, and I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to fall. And then, like, I don't know how to not fall like when I'm in there. So
just gotta use your...
I don't know. I'm sure if someone showed me just one-on-one, like I'll make it. But like they put me in swimming classes when I was a child. I didn't want to be there.
Really?
So I wasn't really I feel like they didn't teach me. I was the only one who just couldn't figure it out though. So I would just always fall, and they would always have to pick me up, and then it'd be like, stop doing that.
So you kind of developed a fear of swimming.
I don't know. That's interesting. Like I cannot float, but I'm not like we ain't doing it, there was a pool party and I went in it, but I knew I wasn't gonna die because it's a pool, but even that, like I think if we had to talk fear, I think it would be, I don't know if fear is the right word, but I didn't really want to take off my shirt at like beaches and stuff, so I would be more like I don't even want to go to the beach because I don't want to take off my shirt. So like even going to that pool party, I didn't want to take off my shirt. I did. But even that was like a mental hurdle.
Is that like a modesty thing?
I'm not. No, I ain't Bruce Lee or nothing on there. Like, no, but I think it'd be more like just like, oh, I'm not in shape, you know, like stuff like that, you know, like. And I know it's all bullshit. And you know what's funny? That doesn't even bother me for anything else. I'll go looking raggedy to any event or whatever, you know. But like, I don't know. And, I guess like being naked and stuff in public or whatever, I'm like, you know. So like, I think I've gotten better over it in the last year.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's just the thing. Like even right now in the house I'm staying, like it's a bunch of dudes, and like if you're waking up, everybody's all shirtless. And I was like I did it, man, but I was like, fuck, you know, like I feel like I'm the only one not in shape and shit, you know, like so I'll just feel like, yeah, you know, whatever that self-conscious feeling is or whatever, you know. I
know that feeling.
Yeah.
But also like everybody's got a body, and like the older you get,
for sure,
like they're always changing, and nobody's perfect, and I think that being in Texas is, I don't know, I have just become more and more in tune with my body since I moved here, honestly, because like I got shamed for my outfit choices growing up all the time. And there's something really empowering about being in a place, a badass city that is, you know, growing and thriving, and I can be who I am, and I can have a career where I can go to work in a belly shirt and still be respected.
Yeah.
And I just think of my high school teachers that would just shame me for my midriff.
I was expecting like the kids, because
no, my teachers, like I once asked if a dude was like going to get a boner off my back, because I was just like, I don't want to cover myself up. Like who has a problem with this? Like,
yeah.
And it was really shaming, and it went way into my 20s mentally. Like I brought that with me for a really long time, and it took me to like my 30s until I realized that I can actually dress however I want and be in this field that I want to be in.
Yeah.
It's not affecting my career at all.
I feel like, and now I'm 33 now, and I feel like it's only now in these last few years where I'm becoming like way more comfortable, like with my skin, like everything.
Is that weird?
I don't know if that's just the number, you know?
Right? Like the 30s. Yeah. It's like everything makes a little more sense now.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. Because, like, when we're young, we're being taught stuff, right? And then in the 20s, we're like, we're going to go take on the world or whatever. And then maybe when we're 30, like, all right, the world maybe, depending on what it is what you wanted, like, maybe it didn't give you what you wanted. Where it's like, well, like, you know, like, at least for me. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna just go do what I want now. Like I already experienced all these other things that they said I should do. Right. That kind of sucks. So like, let me just do me now, you know?
Exactly.
So maybe that's what it is with the 30s.
I think it's also like we spend our 20s getting to know ourselves. And by the time we're 30, it's like, I know what I want now. I know what I like. I know what I want to do, but hopefully are still open to new things.
Yeah. There's something I want to mention, but because you mentioned like the healing and recovery.
Yeah.
So like many years ago, my last real full-time job, it was data entry stuff, so really boring. So it's just on a computer all day, right? Mm-hmm. And then all this creative stuff, I'm on a computer as well. So I would work like 10-hour days, and then I would go home and still work like on a computer.
Yep.
And I don't believe I had tendinitis, but I had those symptoms that we believe are tendinitis.
Yeah.
And I was to the point where I was typing with pens. Like,
really?
It sucked. But I was able to kind of heal myself with trigger point therapy, which is just a fancy word for like one of the many massage techniques out there. And I just did it with foam rolling and stuff, you know?
Awesome.
And yoga. And like now I can do all these things. I really thought like I just was done with music. I was like, well, I guess that's it. Like now, you know, I'm gonna move on to whatever I move on to.
No, our bodies are resilient. We can fix them. Like there's been points where I couldn't feel my pinky.
Oh wow.
Or this finger actually. Like they just went numb, and they were like this all the time. I was like, oh, I did something weird here. And then I found a masseuse that is just wonderful, and he just puts me back in place sometimes. That's what I need.
I have a PD. I mentioned that though just to say like, yeah, those two things help me. So
Yeah.
and in case
Yoga,
you want
foam
to check
rolling.
that out, yeah.
I should check out that.
I have a PDF, has like trigger points on the whole body.
Send me that.
Yes, I was gonna say.
Okay.
I've sent that to so many people, whether I know them like good or not. Like some people I've only met at like conventions, and I'm like, I'll send it to you, and then it's all on you, after that. But like, yeah, I'll send it to you. It saved my life, man. Like,
Awesome.
I think one of the greatest feelings I had, like, I put a ball on my chest, right, and then just like rub it on the wall. So essentially, you're just doing this on your chest. And now, because I've done it so much, it's not extreme. But the first time I did it, I felt like this thing going like all the way down to my hand, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And that was like one of the bigger ones, like that really kind of like loosened me up there.
Yeah, in the pec here.
Yeah, the pec area. Yes.
Interesting.
And then for a lot of us, like, because I don't know what positions you're normally in, but since I'm like that a lot, so a lot of the muscles for me is like upper back pretty much.
Upper back?
Like, like one, initially it was like anything I would touch there was super sensitive in the beginning. And then now, like, I just kind of focus on strengthening it and try not to strengthen this at all. Just because since I'm always like this, so like, for posture wise, I'm just trying to do this
Pull
now.
it back.
But
this is really important too.
It is, but I'm using this all the time.
Okay.
Because I'm always like this anyway.
Right.
So I do stuff here, but I know most people, especially like men in the gym, they always want to bench press and shit. And it's a good exercise, of course, but like we're always doing the front stuff, but stuff like the back ain't sexy, but you need that balance.
Totally. I actually have that opposite problem. I guess I'm like, there's like a minoral pec or something that I just am completely lacking.
Yeah.
And so my shoulder muscles fill in for that, but then that's kind of where it gets tense in my shoulder and doesn't quite work with the tendons going down my arm all the way.
The other
because I'm
thing,
missing a muscle.
The other thing I ended up doing, which is like, this is kind of like a self-healing thing that at the end of the day, but you ever heard of the Alexander technique? I think that's from like, I don't know if it comes from musicians, but I learned it from, because I guess musicians end up learning it at some point. But it's just a bunch of simple exercises, stupid stuff like getting up and sitting down. But it's just to teach you self-awareness, like, because it makes you examine like how you're doing whatever process it is you're doing, so that you stop doing it in that harmful way, basically. So like, I think like sometimes I'm playing guitar like this and I'm like, oh, it sucks. So I end up like shifting it this way or something. Or like singers, they might be doing something weird with their neck. And if they just watch themselves in a mirror, they're like, oh, if I just move my neck here, I sound great now. Like, so it's just to create like a high self-awareness of what it is, this process you're doing, so that you can fix it. Cause it's really like your fault. Versus like, I'm gonna just get surgery and tear up my arm or something or whatever some people do, so. Yeah.
No, I think that getting to the root of the problem instead of trying to put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
The way to go.
Let me see. Let me try to ask one more normal question. I'm gonna go to a life question so we can get you out of here because we're running short on time. Like, projects like the like, it's just me on the outside. So I see like the famouser things like the Westworld South by booth. Or the thing, I keep forgetting what it's
Battle
called.
Angel.
Yeah. Like, how do those come across your table? Like initially, like
various ways. Honestly, I worked at a fabrication company for 3 years called Paul Bernard Exhibits, and that they actually got hired to do all of the picture cars for that film. So we just made all of the cars and motorcycles, and it wasn't that I was working directly on the film itself, but I worked we were hired by them to make these cars, and it was my first taste of the film industry, and I have gotten more into it since then, but also know a little bit more about what I like and dislike about it. I got a lot of information about it. Like, as an artist, like I like to make my own art. So I'm a little weary of working on feature films because it takes up your entire life. Like you don't clock in and clock out. It's like, oh, you want to work on this? It's going to take a month. And 16 hours every single day. Yeah. It is every single day, every waking hour, all of your mental energy and physical energy. You don't have a life outside of it.
Yeah.
And that's just what's expected of you. And I get that. Yeah. I do like that in a project, but in a feature film, it's just so long. It's a little bit too much for me because once you're done with it, you forget who you are. And I don't want to forget who I am as my own artist. So for money and for work, because it's really fun to collaborate on those projects, I have gotten more into them. And when I worked on Westworld, it was the Westworld South by. But it was just creating this little world. And I came in kind of late. I wasn't in the fabrication team. I was on the painting crew to start out. And then I started doing set deck on the second week. And by the end of that week, I was kind of like the second in command because nobody knew what was going on. And so they told me what was going on and I delegated, and I actually really like delegating. So I was leading a team of like 7 or 8 people by the end of that week. And we got it all buttoned up and finished just in time.
I feel like that happens a lot on those projects because it's like, look, man,
who's in charge?
Yeah, nobody? We're doing something. Like, because I think from the top, like, hey, we want to do this. Hire those people. Here's this. I do this. And then that's kind of and then it's like everybody's left to figure it out.
Exactly.
I shot a short film for the first time some point in the summer. And then, they hired me just to, shoot the camera and stuff. But
nice.
Man, it was like 12+ hour days.
Yeah.
And I guess I wasn't ready to like only do this. So like, man, on day 3, it was only 3 days, but man, on day 3, I made the mistake of like doing other stuff besides sleeping and doing this. And on day 3, man, I was like, again, I was falling asleep. If anybody took a break on set, I would just go to sleep. Like, if they were going to discuss stuff, I would go to sleep because I was like...
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Well, you think that, I mean, not to say that that's not intense. Like, that's when you have to, like, be shining. Yeah, when they're actually filming. But the art crew...
Yeah.
We get, like, if there's a 3-day shoot, we probably get, like, 5 to 6 days to build it. Yeah. And it's just no sleep. It's just every waking hour is building this thing, and then we have to be there for the shooting. Yeah. And it's just so exhausting, and you're just kind of over it by the time you're filming sometimes.
No, for sure. I only mentioned that because I think like you were saying, I was just so spoiled by my own work that like, like this is all that matters right now.
Right.
Like your life don't matter either. Just like do the thing now.
Totally. Yeah.
So
it's actually so I worked on those 2 films, and then just this past spring, I was kind of freelancing and picking up random jobs wherever I could, and I had a production company reach out to me to do a Shaky Graves music video, and they were like, we need a forest, and I was like, I have a VHS tape jungle, like, will that work? So it all fell into place, and from that point, I started doing production design and setting up all of the sets that are in these commercials and music videos. And it's really fun to do the shorter ones like that.
Yeah.
And just today, I'm actually starting my first short film with them. So
oh, wow.
I'm getting to start into the production of that. So
real quick, VHS jungle. What's that?
I have a VHS tape jungle.
Like, it's literally just tapes.
I used 1,000 VHS tapes.
I feel so bad, man. I had so many VHSs I just got rid of
really?
like 2 weeks
Funny.
ago.
That's okay. It's okay. I have that whole closet full, actually. I don't really need more. I've slowly been like getting rid of the larger pieces.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of the little elements that are super fun to install. They're very adaptable. Like, if I need to do an installation somewhere, they're very, very easy to just kind of bring in and take over. Like this little infiltration of black VHS tape, but it's also like cool because it's really shiny.
Yeah.
So it'll pick up whatever light you put on it. And it's kind of wiggly and weird. And one thing I've been running into a lot recently is like I want to use industrial materials, right?
Yeah.
But like that means I don't have control of the color of them. So I just kind of have to accept what they are.
Yeah,
A lot of them, like, it would be ridiculous to try to change the color. So unless I could do light. Light's the one way.
All right.
Yeah, so VHS tape jungle.
Got you.
That's the thing.
All right. I'm going to start these life questions so we can get you out.
Life questions.
Yeah, man. So what... Oh, stop taking me to the camera. What do you believe that people think you're crazy for believing?
People think I'm crazy for believing?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody thinks that I'm as crazy as I think I am.
You're like everything to myself.
If anything, I wish I was like weirder. Like I'm always talking about art as life.
Yeah.
And it being the same. Like I don't want to separate my art and my life. They should be one.
There is no life imitates art. There is only one.
There's only one. So I think that's why I make art that I can exist with inside of. I want to make big things. But life as art is what I strive for. I don't know if that answers your question.
So, because you said you were having a. Just like explain that more, like life as art, like.
Like, I want to. I want to live in a beautiful, weird way that kind of mimics my art. It's like it is this growth. It is this collection of materials, but it's also like this outpouring of emotion. And I think that my art is living in a way. And I think that as a person, it's like I want everything around me to be that kind of like dark, beautiful, whether that is attitude or outfits or like a weird persona. It's like the difference between getting dressed and putting on a costume or what's real and what feels real. Wearing duct tape as a bracelet. Just not seeing the difference between. It's like this cave here that I have is also like a tent. It is a hideout. It is a home. It is so many things, but it's also an art. It's like finding the function in art, but not making it look so damn functional.
So hidden functionality.
Yeah.
Okay. That was good because it kind of dove into your philosophy.
I just kept going until I...
But that's good. That's the whole point of this. That's the whole point. Because that's how I try to understand, like, the main reason I would do these things, try to understand people and stuff.
For sure.
If you were rich, how would you live your life?
If I was rich, how would I live my life? I would probably live near the ocean and constantly be building new alternative spaces onto my house. And I want to just... Have you ever been to the City Museum of St. Louis.
No, I've not.
It is just magic.
Yeah.
It is steel and concrete and mosaic and mirrors and just, it's real. But it's so imaginative that it almost doesn't feel real. But the fact that they're real materials that we have a connection to, like, and they're sturdy and they're not, it's not a facade. It's an actual thing that you can interact with. And it's a jungle gym that is a gigantic building. And they just keep adding on to it. It's 4 stories right now, but they're working on the 5th one. And they'll
and they're
just
building
probably,
vertically?
it's 11 stories high, but they just have the first couple floors done. And I think that that is the most beautiful thing, because it's this never-ending project that can feel done in the moment, but it's also evolving, and you learn from your mistakes, and you try to, evolve, but also create the storyline, because it's all there. Like, there's something really beautiful about owning a cave in a jungle and other formations that I just keep growing, and I can't help but feel like I am, like, they're all one. Like, it's all from the same place in my heart, and how wonderful it would be to create one solid space for that.
I like that, because that almost taps into your life is art thing.
Yeah.
Because it's done. We're done in that we exist as people, but we're always evolving.
Exactly.
Until life is done.
Until life is done.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, do it till you can't anymore.
Yeah.
But I would also probably travel and help women build up their strengths and self-esteem and protect themselves and feel safe.
Like, how would you go about doing that?
I mean, what if there were spaces that were alternative spaces that were, it was a safe space. Create safe spaces. I honestly think that that is what a lot of my growths, I strive for them to be, is kind of this, like, little haven, even though they're a little dark.
Yeah.
I think it would be beautiful to help people. Though, as an artist, I am inherently selfish. I'll admit it.
I feel like we all are as artists.
I know. But no, I think it would be really cool to. No, you know what I would do is I would hire people to help me.
Okay.
Like, women who want to, there are so many women out there who want to tap into their creative selves, and I create all of these strange things, these weird processes, and I would love to hire people to just do them. And then you make a paycheck for doing this ridiculous thing that opens your mind, kind of sets you free.
Teach them to do the job.
Yeah.
There you go. That's good. One of the original reasons, because I think you asked me before we started why we do this, I think I was just like, lost trying to find myself. So the stereotype question I used to ask everybody is the one I'm actually now. What's your goal in life?
Oh, my goal in life.
Yeah. Let's get a sip.
My goal in life is to turn my imagination into reality so I can hang out inside of it.
That is like a great way of putting it. Turn my imagination. I almost feel like that's every artist's, not necessarily a goal in life, but that's every artist's, like, intention. Like, even as a musician, right? I'm trying to get this stuff out of my head into reality.
Exactly.
And the process is trying to be able to actually do that correctly, because I hear awesomeness and then shit comes out, in the very beginning,
Exactly.
And as I keep doing it, the shit got shiny now, still shit. And like, it's not shit no more. And then, now it's great, like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, in order to do that, like, I would have to collaborate and collaborate with musicians and like projection artists and graphic designers. And I think that we all play a part in that world. And I don't think as an artist, it's fair to feel like we have to learn how to do everything.
I feel like I've almost been, and I think it's just because a lot of the experience I had as an artist that I've almost like, this is great. For me, one reason why I like this, it forces me to collaborate because I can't do this podcast by myself. You can, but you can't, because it just wouldn't be this. It would be something else. But
exactly.
But like things like music, I think I got like so like, you just get let down by so many different people that I ended up maybe that part of my life, I'm almost hesitant to let anybody in anymore because I'm like, look, I do it. And every time I've worked, they would let me down here, there, or whatever. So I almost just like kind of doing that on my own. And yeah, like I've just for everything, I call myself as a joke a DIY king. You know what I mean?
DIY king. That's
just
good.
because like I kept trying to do everything with people and it would just never work out. So I was like, you know what? Like I want to do this thing. I'll just do it myself. And I believe eventually that will lead me to the tribe, wherever. And so I'm not like opposed to doing it forever by myself, but it's just like I just don't know those people yet.
That makes sense.
So yeah,
that makes sense. I just like to. I think I kind of started trying to hire help, but I do like being the boss.
Like, don't get it twisted. It's still my vision. It's still my vision.
I mean, like I have tried collaborating in other ways, and it is kind of difficult for me. Like I need to know who's in charge. I also like being hired by other people to create their vision because that takes the creative pressure off of me. Like,
you just got to do the thing.
Right. Like, what do you want? I would love to help turn that into reality.
So as long as there's like direction.
Yeah.
I got you.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, and that's probably why my collaborations I didn't enjoy as much because I just felt like we were going nowhere.
Going nowhere, for sure. Yeah, I've done that too.
So I was like, at least if this ship is just me, at least we're going somewhere. Yeah. I don't know what land we're gonna find, but we're going towards it.
Yeah.
But
I collaborated once with somebody who I thought felt like it was going nowhere. So instead of that, I just studied them. I was like, okay, so you like this thing. How do we do this thing in a different way? It's like I kind of coaxed it out of them, which was kind of cool, different experiment, but it only happened the once.
I'm learning better to do those things now. But again, something about the 30s.
Yeah,
exactly. Something about the 30s.
Yeah.
Because I've interacted with so many people now, and I think this helps me because I get to spend time with people like you, like who I normally wouldn't spend time with, who give me their time. And I think, okay, I learned something here, and I'm adding that, and I think it's helping me with everything I do.
Awesome.
So,
good.
What are 3 things you're thankful for in life?
Oh. Friends. Family. The ability to do what I love.
All right. Where you see yourself 3 years in the future?
Well, depending on the evolution of the gentrification of the East Side, hopefully right here.
Yeah.
Like this studio.
You see it too. You see it. I don't live here and I see it. We might have glasses, but we ain't blind.
Exactly. Things are moving quick.
What is the perfect day?
The perfect day is walking on water. Well, not walking on water.
I thought I was like, damn, like Jesus. I'm Jesus.
Walking on the beach next to water.
Got you.
And collecting all the beautiful stones and then making something out of them once you collect them all.
Have you done that yet? Because that seems highly attainable.
Oh, yeah. But it's just kind of pairing like perfection with art and life.
Okay.
But it's using nature to create art, but it's also very quick and there's no pressure and it's just for me.
Got you. You won't know about this, but there's a lot of art in his life stuff. Like and your philosophy. And there's like an old Japanese rock band I grew up on.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese rock was like my main rock in the beginning of my life.
Cool.
For whatever reason, they've heard that, whoever hears this. But Ex Japan, yeah, one of their most famous songs was "Art Is Life." So every time you say that, that just comes in my head.
I'm gonna have to listen to
and
that.
I just see that. I did not turn that off.
I grew up in South Dakota, so I knew nothing of Japanese rock.
Yeah, like
So.
I grew up in Bronx, New York, so my main
Nice.
music was hip hop, and then until the internet came, I didn't really open myself up to anything. And for whatever reason, Korean and Japanese music in 1999 and forward was the first thing that kind of opened my mind, and then I got into everything else. But
That's awesome.
yeah, it's a long listen though. It's a 30-minute song.
That makes sense.
There you go.
How can you shorten that?
You get to hear it evolve, right? You get to hear it.
Yes. I'm gonna look that up.
This is the final one. What is the question that I should have asked you but I didn't?
The seed.
What do you mean the seed?
What's the seed of all of the growth?
All right, what is the seed of all of the growth?
Does it work like that?
Yes. Only you know yourself better than I don't know, so that's the cheat. That's the hack.
Maybe you did ask me. Maybe. I think everything stems from childhood. Childhood imagination. I think that I am still stuck in this forest that I grew in my mind in the 3rd grade. And I'm trying to make it.
And bring it forth into reality. That's cool, man. I feel like you are in touch with what you were to become ever since a young age. A form of it. Maybe not that you were there at 3rd grade, but like that you had like seed, that you had a seed of it in there. That's cool.
It's true.
Yeah.
But I had a good support system my whole life, and I'm very lucky because of that. So.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm like so proud of myself. I'm like, it's 101. I'm like,
101.
yeah, I nailed that shit.
Perfect.
So, what is it? And then I like ruin it right here. See, cocky before it's done. Oh yeah. Where can they go to find you online?
I have a website, SuzanneWyss.com. I also am pretty active on Instagram. I go by Suzanne Wyss on everything because it frustrates me. We have to learn like 3 names for people these days. I struggle with that. So I just go with my name.
Yes. That is a big, I think the thing would be point of contention for me with a lot of my fellow artists, primarily musicians, because they love doing a different alias for each thing. And I'm like, maybe at a certain level that makes sense because I've seen a lot of famous people do it. But I think us, I'm speaking not you including, but like my base who are like, look, man, we're not even making a living off of alias 1. Right. Why are we doing alias 10? You know what I mean? So like everything I do, it's under my artist name. And if one of these things I do blows up, then maybe depending on how the reactions are, maybe that might be centralized to whatever it is that blew up.
Yeah.
But until then, it's like, why would I start again 40 times? I'm not trying to start 10 races. I'm trying to enjoy one, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, this gets to something that we didn't talk about that I almost brought up earlier was I love having a creative field that pays my bills, and collaborating with others is a really wonderful way to do that.
Yeah.
But I will always have an art that I make that will never come from the idea that it's going to make me money. Because that immediately changes the art. It's no longer a meditation.
I've struggled in myself to use my skill set in any way that makes to my own detriment. And there's ways for music, there's ways for this, but it's like the few times I've been paid, it's like, this is not fun. This is
right. Exactly. It changes it.
Yeah. So sometimes I'm like, man, I'm just being a stubborn idiot. But I don't know, man. I don't know if I can do it. I'm trying to find this happy medium, but I'm still looking.
Yeah.
I'm still looking.
You'll find it.
I will. I believe I will. And only now, and that's come from a lot of training too, because I didn't believe that either when I was younger.
Exactly.
But then I crossed the 3-0, and then it happened.
That was the ticket, huh?
Yeah. But also want to say real quick, your website looks real good, man. Like,
thank
I haven't
you.
done one yet, man, but I was like, this is great because it's like to the point for everything you need. You know, like the resume section.
Thank you.
The big sculptures, you know, versus the rest of it. I was like, man, this is badass. I thought it was like a good template. It's like, I will rip you off one day.
Squarespace.
Yes. Oh, yes. That's the number one I have in my head for like when I finally do it to use. Yeah. That's badass. That's good to know. All right. Last words.
Never give up.
Damn, I should have worn my Never Give Up shirt.
Should have.
I have, it says, it comes from fighting game culture, like, but it's never give up in like 10 different languages.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
Nice.
Yeah. But all right, that's it. Bake that chicken, smoke that turkey. Boosh. We out. Follow me along.